Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. I am Carrie Saunders, Senior Director of Marketing and Strategic Partnerships for the Vacation Group. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're sitting down with some of the incredible people behind Student Tours by the Vacation Group to talk about student travel and group travel and beyond. What goes on behind the scenes and what makes these trips such an amazing experience for groups and students alike. I am joined today by Royal Amati, Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Vacation Group, Deborah Smith, Managing Director of Student Tours, and Lee Smith, Sales Representative for Student Tours, who helps make these trips happen for schools, students, and groups across the country. So we thought it would be fun to do some questioning, and then at the end, we'll do some rapid fire questions so that you can get to know them a little bit better and learn a little bit more about what they do. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Royal, who will be asking these questions.
Hi, everyone. Before we start, let me just give you a little bit of quick how Student Tour became part of the Vacation Group. In 2022, we saw the Student Tour as an amazing opportunity and such a niche business that they have, and the growth and the potential that, this could bring to our organization, that it was definitely something that we wanted to look at and expand. And in 2022, we merged with the Student Tours. And I have to tell you that, since then, it has been an amazing journey we have so far. I could tell you a lot about a student tour, but I think we have the experts that are sitting right there with Deborah and Lee that I would love to have them give their expertise and their experience and the knowledge of so many years that have been in this business. Just one thing about a student tour that I want to emphasize, that is really not about just the student tours. Is about any kind of group, any group as of a concert group, affiliation, organization, anything from a 3-day quick getaway to Tennessee to a museum, or curated a very complex tour to every part of Italy or Greece, anything from flight, hotels, train, bus, all the different excursions, museums, so forth and so on, is nothing too small or too great for these two duo to get it done. And the more complicated and the more challenging, I think that's when they thrive the best. Before I even go any further, like I said, I could explain about Student Tour so much, but I really want to go ahead and introduce Deborah and also Lee, that are the force and the driver of the Student Tour. So welcome, Deborah and Lee, and let's tell me about your role and tell me about Student Tour in a nutshell.
Okay, well, I'll take that question first. My job is to bring these trips to life. I'll start off talking to the group leader, and they give me their vision for what the trip is supposed to be. And once I have a clear understanding of that, I have to make it come to life. And I start that by building their itinerary, speaking to vendors, looking at their pricing, and collecting all my puzzle pieces. Because whether it's a student group or an adult group, they're put together the same. It's a big puzzle, and you don't know exactly how it's going to look until all the pieces are together. But once you have all the pieces, then you have to manage the trip. And trips change. We manage a lot of these trips for a year or longer. And, we might start out with a group of 50 and it ends up 150. Then you have to go back because the vendors that you use for 50 may not accommodate 150. So it's like a living, breathing entity, and it's constantly changing and evolving. And so then you get to the travel phase, and then we have to facilitate. And then my trip escorts and everyone, we have to make sure that this trip works in real time. What I have on paper really works when the group gets to their destinations. So basically, I wear a lot of hats around here. We start with the planning, the managing, and then the facilitating of the trip. So that's basically what I do.
Let me ask a couple of questions. It's great that what you were saying. So the whole entire thing is when somebody reaches out to you, a group affiliation, or even a school or university, is listening to what they are looking for. And based on what they are looking for, is a puzzle, like you said, and you figure out how to put that puzzle together to exactly what they are looking for. Does that sound right?
That's exactly right. That's where it all starts, with a phone call or a text or an email.
Just as a fun fact, what was your smallest group tour?
I would say, well, I have a group of 22 going to Kentucky to do the art and the Creation Museum. They leave next month. And, ironically, the smaller groups are more of a challenge a lot of times than the larger groups. But it doesn't matter the size of the group, how small or how big, we can do it. We never take no as an answer. We can do it. We can put it together.
Absolutely. And to date, what was your biggest group?
For one group, I had 453 people in Hawaii, which the biggest challenge to that was flying them all there and getting them there on the same day. But we managed it. We were told, you can't do that. And we were like, well, yes, we can. And we did. We had them all in to Honolulu within 2 hours of each other.
That's amazing.
I've had 1,200 at Disney at one time, in Orlando at one time. Man, sometimes it's like herding cats, but we can get it done.
Perfect. Let me ask a question. What makes the student travel different from your typical family vacation?
The difference between the two student groups or group travel is all built on a purpose. They have a purpose for going. It's not about the destination. It is about the learning opportunities and how the students will grow from the experience. Where, with leisure, it's more about the destination and, what you're going to do. But with students, it's all built on the criteria that they have for going on the trip. It's not about the destination.
And it's fair to say that it's more of a, not going on a vacation, but it's educational, enrichment, fulfillment of these groups, especially when it comes to the student part of it. Because these are all educational and they are doing something that, for the school, correct? So, what is the travel is such an important experience for student, if you could elaborate on that.
When these students go on these trips, it connects what they have learned in the classroom. It connects what they have learned to the real world. And it's about their social growth. They gain confidence and experiences in the real world that you cannot replicate that in a classroom. So it's very important. Travel is a very important part of their educational process.
That is exactly what the student tour does, and the fulfillment to any students or any group, and it's amazing of what you guys do day in and day out. As a fun thing, do you have any story that you could share with us regarding any of your experience with the student tour in the past that was happy ending or that was a feel-good story?
I'm always looking for that surprise, that wow moment on a student trip. And I had a group in New York last year, and I was able to get their picture to get them featured on the Jumbotron in Times Square, and they didn't know about it. So we arranged for them to be in Times Square when they were going to be featured on the Jumbotron. And if you could have seen the look on their faces when they looked up and saw themselves, they saw their picture, where they were from, and it said, "Welcome to Times Square," in the name of the group. It was awesome, the look on their faces. And that's something they'll never get, be able to experience again. Anytime these students get to the destination where they're going, and they actually are confronting something they read about or they saw on television, and here it is in real life, you can see the learning when it connects. And the look on their face is like, oh, I get that now. That's the wow moments that you live for that makes this job worth doing.
Absolutely. You and I talk frequently, going back and forth with, all the different, questions, issues, etc. But help the audience about a day in life of being a student tour, running that business.
The day on a student tour starts about 6 a.m. with a wake-up call. And from there, you do breakfast, and then you have your scheduled activities, whether they're educational or whether they're performance-based. We usually do scattered lunches. where they can choose where they want to eat. You get back together, you do more scheduled activities, you have dinner, you have night activities, you get back to the hotel about 10:30. Everybody is tired, but in a good way. We have it's balanced out with fun stuff as well as structured activities. And there are long days, but everybody's engaged throughout. And then you go to bed and you get up, you start all over again.
It is a hectic day, and you have to make sure that everything is being scheduled from the beginning to the end, day in and day out. Is that correct?
Correct. Every moment of a student tour is planned. You almost write down to it's time to breathe now. But that's a safety issue. Everything has to be structured and well organized and well supervised because safety is a number one priority on these trips, and you cannot leave anything to chance. You have to think of every possible scenario and plan for it just in case, because ultimately everybody has to be safe and everybody has to have confidence in what you are doing.
So I'm assuming it's fair to say that when we're talking about a puzzle, it's not a puzzle with like 10 pieces. It's more like a puzzle with 500 and 1,000 pieces that it has to be put together.
That is absolutely correct. And any of them are subject to change at any moment. And you have to be flexible and be able to make those pieces fit. Even when sometimes you have to take out that hammer and make them fit, but it has to fit together.
Perfect. Listen, on a fun part, for the past couple of years, where have you seen the hottest and the most popular destination, not just for the students, but also for the adult groups and every different aspect of your business?
There's 3 that consistently come up. That's Orlando, New York, and DC. And I think the reason they are so popular, even with the adult groups, is because they pretty much have something for everyone. They have the fun aspects, they have educational components, and they just have a little bit of something for everyone. And you can, for any of those 3 cities, you can take them at a real fast pace, or you can slow them down and be leisurely. They are suited to any kind of travel that you would like to do. Internationally, Europe, Italy, France, the UK are real popular destinations because of the history, the culture, and the iconic landmarks. And depending on the type of group, depends on the pace that you go. Adults can't keep up with those student itineraries. You have to slow them down some.
Right. And I forgot to mention that with 99% of all of our student tour packages, we also send a host from our side to be able to be a liaison between the group coordinators and also us. Is that correct?
That is correct. Like right now, I have a group in the air. In a couple of hours, I'll have another group in the air. I have kids on buses headed to their destinations. I have groups leaving tonight, tomorrow, and Friday. And in all those different cities, I have trip hosts that are there waiting for them to facilitate their trip and make sure they have no hiccups. Or if there are any, they're fixed before the group ever knows there's a problem. So yes, they have 24/7 support while they are on these trips, and we are with them from the minute we talk to them about planning the trip until they get home. We're with them the entire time.
And that is the difference between us and other tour company, that we make sure that we have someone from our end from the beginning all the way down to the end to be able to be a liaison, to help support, and to make sure that everything is going as accurate, as scheduled as possible, because there are sometimes that there are going to be some kind of changes, but it's not that they're going to be on their own when they're going to these tours, okay? We have people that we send with the group to make sure everything is done correctly and taking care of any issues, if there is anything arises, that they will handle. Is that correct?
That's correct. All of our hosts either have educational backgrounds or they are seasoned travel professionals. They are all very good at what they do, and they're with the groups the entire time. And as far as student tours, our customer service is second to none. A lot of times at night, 10 o'clock at night, I'm texting with my group leaders. They'll think of a question and I answer them right back. Last week, I had a group in Los Angeles, 2 a.m. I get a phone call. I answer that call. Their flight has been canceled, and so I'm up calling everybody I know. And by the time they got to the airport, their flight was rescheduled. So our customer service is second to none. And we're with them every step of the way. If they have a problem, we have a problem, and we fix it.
And it definitely shows in the testimonials that we have, for all these different groups and the different schools, that they'll come back to you, to us, year over year over year, because of the confidence, the trust, and also knowing that from the beginning to the end is a white glove service.
That's correct. And a lot of my groups, I've planned their travel for so long. Just like yesterday, I had one call me and he goes, well, what do you think I ought to do now? I said, what do you want to do? He says, I don't know. You decide. You decide and let me know, put the trip together, and that's what we'll do. So they do have that level of confidence in us that we will plan the best experiences for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Going to the student tour section, a part of it, okay? Because I know that you have the students, they're excited to go, but sometimes the challenge or the conversation is going to become more towards the parents, correct? So with that said, let's just say if a parent or a student that is on the fence about going or not going, what would you say to them?
What I would say is these are the trips that create lifelong memories, lifelong learning. And it is normal to be hesitant about taking a student group, off on an excursion, because it's hard. It is a lot to it, but we're with you every step of the way to ensure that your trip comes off the way it's supposed to. I think I would also say, I've had a lot of students. I have never had a student say, I wish I hadn't gone on a trip, but I've had many say that's the best experience of my lifetime. So it's worth the work that you have to put into it for these students to get to experience the trips.
Now, I don't want to forget, Deborah is she is the master of the student tour. She is the guru. She is the one that basically put that puzzle together to make it perfect. But with that said, we have to get those group in first. And that's where the partner comes in. And let's talk to Lee about it. Tell me about when the initial conversation is happening, Lee, with the director or the organizer. How does it start? When they reach out to you or you are reaching out to them, give me your day a little bit.
Okay, so when someone's interested in, our services, I'll set up an appointment with them and to go out and meet with them. I'll just go through, what sets us apart. Our customer service, we're with them every single aspect of the trip. We really take out that guesswork and really put all their, any issues that they have, really put them at ease. And, once I sell them on our services and they would like to use us, I get what they would like to do and then hand them over to Deborah to start planning.
Lee, what is the major obstacle that sometimes you face when you are meeting with the organizers, with the directors, and how do you overcome that? Is it through the testimonial, through the loyalty, through the experience, through the how many years that within this business? Elaborate a little bit about that.
Sure. So one of the things that I like to, we have a whole sheet of references, past directors that have used us before. I like to reference that. But then also a major selling point is that Deborah taught school for 25 years. If one thing that she knows how to do is put together a field trip. So that really helps sell them on our services and really eases their mind that, we know how to plan a trip. And then we take care and think of problems before they ever even arise.
Perfect. Why should, when we talking about the student traveling, why should teachers, directors consider organizing a student tour for their class?
Because it brings their classroom lessons to life. It's all about those experiences, and you cannot replicate that in a classroom. The experiences that they receive on site, you can't replicate in a classroom.
And I would say something that, really the students can really see is that especially for our performance groups, when they go to these workshops, say at like Disney or Universal, they're going there to like play their instruments and such, but they can see that there's so many other career aspects with that. There's the recording side, there's the vocal side, there's the conducting side. So it just really opens their eyes to, what all, is out there within that industry.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Deborah Lee, again, thank you very much for shedding some light on what the student tour is all about, the experience and the vast knowledge that you guys have, and why this business is growing so fast, and the sky is the limit. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to Carrie, as she is going to be asking you guys some fun questions. Thank you.
All right. That was great. Lee, Deborah, are you ready? These are just fun, rapid fire questions, okay? Most underrated student travel destination.
It's in Missouri. I would say Branson.
That's good.
It's like a little Dollywood. There's lots
Really?
of things. We very rarely, I would say once every 5 years, have someone go, and they always love to go there.
Good.
Interesting. I would never have guessed that. Cool.
I forgot about it, actually.
You're rated.
Best moment you've witnessed on a student tour.
I think the best moment I've witnessed was student that was so withdrawn, and how he came out at the end and was able to, when he was chosen to do a workshop, he just blossomed. And because I was so afraid that because of the way he had been, he was so withdrawn, that this was going to go one or two ways. The kids were either going to make fun of him or, and he just nailed it. And all the high fives he got, that's what these trips are about.
It's wonderful. One thing that parents worry about that they shouldn't.
The children spending all their money on day one. And really and truly, the children are better at budgeting their money than they think. So that's the number one concern right there, them spending their money and not having any way to eat for the rest of the trip.
One place that a student should see before they graduate.
Probably, I think everyone needs to go to DC just to see it.
I'd say New York.
Those are both great. I can see those. One travel item that you never leave home without.
Poncho.
A book.
You never know when it's going to rain.
Okay, last one. This one's fun. And I'm very curious as to your answer. So, tour bus karaoke, yes or no?
No.
If I'm not on there, absolutely.
Don't ever do one with me then. Lee and Deborah, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to us and give us a behind-the-scenes look at everything that goes into planning student and group travel. It's certainly a lot more than I think many of us really understood. So, everyone, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow along for more travel tips, insights, and conversations like this. And if you've ever been on a group tour before, let us know in the comments where you went. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.